In Detroit today, two very different agendas at the General Motors annual meeting. Inside the meeting room at GM's headquarters, shareholders were asked to vote about approving new directors and incentive plans for top executives. But outside, protesters were demanding GM executives be held accountable for defective ignition switches linked to at least 13 deaths and the recall of millions of cars. Phil LeBeau has more.
Less than a week after General Motors CEO Mary Barra announced the results of an internal investigation into the faulty ignition switches that led to the recall of 2.6 million vehicles, General Motors held its annual shareholder meeting here at its headquarters in Detroit, Michigan, and it was a relatively uneventful meeting. There was no update in terms of the recall investigation, and GM CEO Mary Barra says they're still in the process of figuring out a victim compensation program that's being developed by attorney Ken Feinberg. She also said that she's had a chance since releasing the results of that internal investigation to talk with employees at General Motors about changing the corporate culture at GM, and she's optimistic that they are on the way to doing that.
Our message has been clear. There's really, as I've said, two clear things that we need to do as we come out of this is do the right thing for those who are harmed and do everything within, and I am committing along with the leadership team in our power to make sure we create the right organization, the right processes, support the employee, that this never, ever happens again.
While the annual meeting was going on, a small group of people were protesting in front of GM headquarters, much as they were Monday afternoon. That group included the parents of two women who were killed in recalled GM models. One of those parents told me he believes GM CEO Mary Barra is sincere when she says she wants to change the company.
I got a chance to meet Mary personally when she was doing a meeting with the congressional hearings out in Washington. It appears that she's trying to make things happen, which is good. It's good for all purposes, whether it's to make sure that the cars are safer on the road, but we got to make sure that things like this don't happen to someone else.
The annual meeting had little impact on shares of General Motors, which, by the way, are down about 10% this year. At the GM annual meeting in Detroit, Michigan, Phil LeBeau, Nightly Business Report.